Who are those guys?
They're known as scraps. Outcasts and deserters who choose to live beneath us in sewers and abandoned tunnels. They're a constant irritation to our harmony.
They're nothing but thugs and hooligans.
DIYers, what's going on with y'all? It's Curtis King, and this is Live from the Underground. This is a series spotlighting independent artists, building with intention and purpose. We focus on origin stories, creative philosophy, and what it really means to build independently regardless of access platforms or systems. Let's get into today's guest. You know, it's funny because his name may be a lot more familiar than his face today, at least. But this man has definitely been a part of our Critique My Beats community. Matter of fact, he won our first Critique My Beats tournament. This is Don Law, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm joined by Don Law. Don Law is an independent artist and producer whose music blends introspective hip-hop with melodic R&B and soul. He writes, performs, produces, and mixes his own records, building each song from the inside out. His work explores identity, internal conflict, faith, and ambition with a sound rooted in intention rather than trends. I appreciate you being here, Don Law. Welcome to Live from the Underground, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate being on. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people were asking, you know, after you won the contest, it came with a whole lot of things. And one of those was we had to reserve an interview, but you were working on some things. Can you kind of tell people a little bit about what it is you do before we get into these questions? Because I thought it was something that was really dope to get to know you on that level of all the things that you're doing within the community.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a percussion instructor, and that's my main job that I do. I'm working with kids, and it's drums, so there's really not much to explain there. But to kind of like give it some depth, I like to fuse character development with teaching them drums, because to me that's something that, which in future music you'll definitely hear me exploring topics of just self-actualization, and I feel like that's a big thing that we just need to bring that to the center of attention into today's society. So that's what I do: teach drums, work with kids, high schools, younger than that, private lessons, really heavy in the community, things of that nature.
Man, the work is needed. Where did your artist name come from?
I'm gonna kind of pick with you for a second, Curtis. You know, you wouldn't know anything about this, but it got anime relations. You know, it's
I wouldn't know nothing about this. Hey, put some respect to my anime, bro. Put some respect to my anime. Everybody comes to me when they have anime questions. Obviously, Curtis King is the expert on that. Like, don't disrespect my anime.
My bad.
No, but go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
No, but so my name's Terrell. That's my real name. Mm-hmm. And to me, I don't like that as an artist name, Terrell. It just don't got a ring to it to me. So I was like, all right, we're gonna have to go the moniker route. But I never liked the moniker route. I always wanted just a cool name. I didn't get that. So long story short, there was a particular show. I'm not going to get too much details because it's part of the lore of the fan base I'm trying to build. I want them to kind of explore on their own. But it's two characters, a villain and kind of like a hero mashed together, because I feel like that's the line that I walk as a leader, is being all right, we have to like lead by example, but that also means going against the grain of society most of the time, because what normally works or what works for society just doesn't get actual results. So it's kind of like you're walking as like the villain and the hero, things of that nature. So it's really just two names smashed together that kind of has a better ring to it, at least in my opinion, than just Terrell. So that's the short form.
Definitely. What city do you represent, and how did that environment shape you as an independent creative?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm from Peoria, Illinois. For those who aren't familiar, it's up by Chicago, kind of like in that area. We're like 2 hours away from there, to kind of give you some identity. But Peoria, Illinois is my hometown, born and raised. And being in the Midwest, to me, I feel like my sound is a conglomerate of just everything. Like, I love the West Coast sound, get influences from the East, down South. We're just kind of in that middle where you kind of hear influences from everything.
Yeah. And I think it's dope that you actually are a student of all those sounds. Because, you know, a lot of folks be like, I make West Coast, and folks on the West Coast is like, no, the hell you don't. But Don Law does these things very well. We've heard many of times he submit music off, and it's just blew us away, man, especially one of the most recent records you sent. With that said, though, what do you remember about the first song that you ever made before you thought about even an audience or a career in music? What do you remember about the first song you made?
What defines first song? Because this
As far back as you want to go, this is your question. As far back as you want to go, what is like what is one of those first memories that come to mind? Because I think of a song title. Like I know I've had first verses, but a song
Mhm.
title for me is a song called "Hit Me Again," and I was the bartender. It was terrible, but go ahead. What was you? What do you remember about your quote unquote first song or one of your first songs that you made?
Okay, so I'll give you the first memorable song, but really it was just kind of like a verse, but it was a song. I did it with my dad. It was when I was a kid. And we made the song. Well, okay, so it was called Xbox. And this was my first like introductory into you can make a song and the title doesn't have to reflect what the song is about. It just needs to be creative. So that was like kind of my first intro lesson. So we called it Xbox. And it was something like I'm a 10-year-old prodigy. Ain't nobody hot as me. My swag so tight. That's why something. It was something corny, but dude, I thought it was the hardest thing in the world, and I
Word.
spammed it. Like every new song that I would create, I would just like pull bars from that because it was tough. You couldn't tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like my first. Oh, this is like, and we recorded it too, so like I could hear it and think like it was a song, quote unquote. But that was my first like real experiences. I have a ton of those, but that's maybe probably like my earliest first one.
Yeah. When did this stop being a hobby and start feeling serious as an independent path and not just a creative outlet?
When I knew I didn't like school in high school.
That's the answer. Keep the kids. Let's get these kids out of school, man. Come on, man. That's the answer.
Here I am teaching at
Let's get
school.
you no more students. All right. How about that, man? Let's just send them into the world. I'm just playing. Go ahead. That's a funny answer.
Oh man.
Okay. So what was it about that specifically?
I mean, music. The story with music for me started early on, like just young, like 3 years old, really. But by the time I got to high school, it was when I was kind of meeting that crossroads of like I had to start marrying certain stuff because I was heavy into sports. My it was like a family division. It was like sports one side, music one side, and that was like and that's pretty much typical for a lot of people from my community. But it got to the point where it was like I'm also doing fairly well in both of these
Mhm.
things. And now the other people that are in these organizations are now placing more responsibility on me because I'm able to take more of a load. And it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, I'm on, two drum lines at once while doing three different sports while being like the family dynamic is a whole story on its own. I'm in relationships all on its own. Everything's just kind of merging, and then with school being a thing, I'm not really just kind of there. And so once I started checking out, and when I say school, I don't mean like learning about stuff. I love learning.
Mhm.
It would just the structure of
Mhm.
school was
I get
like,
it.
okay.
I'm just teasing. I get it. I
Yeah.
feel
No, 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 no. Once I hit that point, that's when I was like, okay, I want to do something different. And I'm not going to be a dummy about it though. Like I know I'm gonna have to replace this with something because if you don't follow that traditional path, you can't just run off of I don't like this. Okay, well, so what? So at that moment, that's what bless you. And at that point, that's where things became serious for me. So pretty early on,
What's a mistake you made early on as a DIYer that taught you one of your biggest lessons?
helping everybody else out too much.
Explain.
Um, because DIY, I'm just one of those people. I'm hands on, and I like challenges. So naturally, I want to figure out how to do any and everything. If it piques my interest, I want a hand in it somehow, some way. Naturally, I have a big heart too. I want to help people. Like I love seeing people thrive and be extraordinary at what they do. Terrible combination sometimes.
Hold on, let me hit the button. Yeah, yeah. Who are you telling? Welcome to our life. Go ahead.
Oh man. So okay, so to streamline the answer,
Mhm.
it just got to the point where on any given day, at a minimum, I'm giving 50% of myself to just other things. And that's not gonna this you can't do that. You're not going to be able to function and build what you have to do if you're only giving half of yourself to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So um,
Bar.
that might have to use that later or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I give you permission to use your own bar. It's okay. It's okay.
thank you,
You know,
thank you.
I'll sign you off the rights. You know what I mean? And I'm just,
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I got you, bro. Hey, man, I'm a man of the people. I'm a man of the people. What is the
Hey, my dog.
and I'm an anime expert. What's been the hardest moment in your journey as an independent artist or DIYer so far? The hardest moment.
Oof, losing everything, and still having to move forward.
What is everything for you? What do you mean?
Uh, Basically, so the way I like to see it, and I could be wrong. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. When you go through life, you typically have like friends, family, uh, hopefully money, passions, and things like social activities, whether that's for yourself or with other people. Seeing like these things that you go through life with. Well, and recently, and it plays into the story, and I'm going to be uncovering a lot of this story in my own journey, especially this year. I basically like lost all of that. Like I'm broke, I don't got no money. Like I lost my friends, like people I grew up with, years gone. Got to the point where even just the setup, like I worked in studios and built my own multiple studios throughout my city, and I don't want that to sound more glamorous than it really seemed, but nonetheless was like working with like hundreds of artists over time, obviously. All of that gone, just everything gone, and still having to, not having to, but finding the motivation to get up and still go forward. Like, okay, if I really am about this, then the stuff that's going on is just part of the story, not the story.
Mm-hmm.
But that's easier said than done sometimes when you're kind of waking up and it's just like, man, that life I once had it's a distant memory at this point, So
Yeah.
that's probably been the hardest.
What was the first money you ever made from your independent work, and how did that moment change how you saw yourself
Um,
as an artist? By the way,
I was gonna say
you're like, I already love myself, Curtis. That did nothing for me. But no, as an artist, how did that? Because you get to that point where you get parents, you get elders that say, that music ain't gonna make you no money. You need to get a real job.
Oh yeah.
Da, da, da.
Oh yeah.
But that first money hits, it don't matter what the amount is. I've heard, amounts of 25, 50, does not matter. But that first money, damn it, if it don't make you feel like you're doing something, you're like, move out the way, Tech Nine. I just made $50. I'm on my way. I'm pretty sure nobody's ever said that before, ever in the history of any time, but
it hit different though,
First time for everything. First time for everything. But yeah, what was the first money you ever made from your independent work? And how did that moment change how you saw yourself as an artist?
Okay, I'll give you two moments because I don't think I mentioned earlier that like production was a like I was a producer before I was an artist.
Mm,
Uh so that's a big part of the story. So with production, I would say I don't remember the first like studio session I took, but I'll skip that and go to like the highlight moment where I was like, "Oh, okay. What?" I made $3,000 off like 10 beats.
oh, how did that moment? How did that moment change how you saw yourself as an artist in that moment? 3,000 is not a hell. That's a number today. If I see that coming in, I'm like, all right, let me see what this is all about. Let me
Yeah,
see what this is all about.
it was that was one of those moments where it was like this, where the camera's at, this ain't real. Like, um, and before I answer that, I'll give you the other one too. So that was as a producer. As an artist, I had a show where I did 3 songs, 12 minutes,
Mhm.
walked away $500 richer. That was another moment where I was like, okay, there's something here.
Yeah.
Uh, those moments, just having both of those experiences basically just solidify. It was more so proof, not even proof, but just more so like No, yeah, I would say proof because at the times I'm very much still in contention with the whole because when I made at the as the producer when I made like the 3K that was in the middle of the like go to college play sports like that battle that I had and then the artist side was I was that was after high school and it was I don't have a job like that. I'm working at studios, and doing things of that nature where it was very much just unstable. So both those moments were very grounding for me to, okay, I may not see
Hmm.
how things are going to play out, but things have played out. So like that's all I need. That's all I need. Let me keep going. More plays will come.
Yeah. And so let's fast forward to today. What are the actual ways you make money today as an independent creative across music, writing, or social media? There's a lot of independent artists that watch these interviews, and it's not to get in your pockets, but more so
Oh yeah.
for them to get ideas of, there's other mediums outside of streaming in the traditional routes. We've heard people say grants and all these amazing things. So I love asking this question. What are the actual ways you make money today as an independent artist and producer?
Yeah. So my situation is a little unique. Everybody's a producer and artist these days, but um, decades plus worth of experience kind of gives me a little edge in terms of that. So I'll answer the question like this because right now I'm at the top. This year is the I'm resetting everything. I've left producer world behind and now I'm focusing on artist world. And that comes with like I have a clientele base as a producer. I don't have a fan base as an artist.
Hmm.
So I have
Well,
I have some
I guess
strategy.
I guess the critique my beats Curtis King TV audience is just chopped liver, huh? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Hey, you see that? He doesn't even see you.
Hey,
All
hey, hey,
hey,
y'all see how he did y'all like that?
Pretty Mimi,
Hey,
Pretty Mimi. He doesn't even know who
hey,
you are. Afro Butterfly. He doesn't even,
wow.
all this. Courtney, let's just next time he submits music, let's just not even act like we hear. I'm just.
I feel like you guys are being manipulated right now, and I feel like you guys need to question uh Curtis
That's crazy.
here
That's
because
crazy.
I think he's manipulating you guys. I think
That was an anime turn of events I could not predict. Even though I am an anime expert, I'm sorry to derail you. You have fans out here. I get what you're saying. though. You reset.
yeah,
You got folks out here, especially after the display that you put on for the last X amount of months, and what you did in that critique my beats tournament. Like, you was up against some really really stiff competition, but damn it, bro, like the
yeah,
music, it just has a quality, an authenticity. It's just in its own league, and knowing that you're putting hands to every aspect of it, the production,
yeah.
the mixing, it's just incredible. So you do got fan. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, and I appreciate that redirection because yeah, I don't want to words are words, and that's something I'm a big component on. Is like a lot of people just they say things not realizing that the words have meaning behind them. So like that's one of the times where like even though I know you get what I'm saying, like it's still like, nah, you're right, bro. I do have fans. Let me not say I don't have a
Yeah,
fan base because that's not true. So thank you.
of course.
Um, I forgot the question. Where was you giving
Yeah.
that?
So, what are the actual ways you make money today as an independent creative across all the different mediums that you access?
Yes. So to streamline the answer, basically I am going to leverage my artist journey and try to like create monetize communities based off that because at this journey right now there's still a lot of like music theory I don't know I'm taking vocal lessons still I'm nowhere near like dude if y'all like I can sing at like a 6 out of 10 level I just know my way around a computer very well but I want to get to a 10 out of 10 level because I respect the craft that much even writing all of this stuff that I'm going to be learning, I'm going to be live streaming it. And then eventually it's going to turn into hopefully, it's going to turn into a community where it's like, all right, I'm just building while building and talking these thoughts out loud and actually doing the work that a lot of people kind of have a hard time seeing the bigger picture from because internet information is so
Or
scattered. That's going to be one of my like ways. Eventually, I will bring the production stuff back into the fold, and I do want to, especially for like people that I meet in these communities like yours. I want to do songs, and instead of like, hey, I make a beat or mix it, like like, hey, I'll produce this for you. Like, all right, here's
Mhm.
the beat, you write it, send it back to me. I'm gonna evaluate it. We'll get on a call, talk about it. I'll mix it down for you. We'll like actually curate a record. And I know records are like an old school term, but I think record sounds so cool. So
I love it.
I'm gonna forever use it.
Love it. Don't get rid of that. Don't. Yeah, there's certain words that I know it. I know it may unk you out. I know it may age you, but no, there's certain words like record. Record sounds like
It's
record.
record.
Record sound bougie. I love it. I love the
You know
bougie.
what I'm saying? It's record.
Did you just send me an MP3? I only listen to records. I like the way
Yeah,
that sounds.
it's
What is? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Were you gonna
but
say
that's
something?
pretty much it. There's a ton, and that journey is going to be part of the journey I'll explain early on. We would need more time to talk. So
It's
that's
all
only
good. It's
half
all
of
good.
it.
What is one thing you're currently doing that's working for you as a DIYer, and why do you think it's working for you?
Quality, music quality. Um, it So a couple of months ago, I went on a TikTok run for maybe about a month and a half where I was just posting like a performance clip of whatever random song from my album Bird's Eye View every day. It just gets random parts of it. And it's very hard on TikTok to one, get attention like that, but then also get engagement and then enough to get people, specifically TikTok people, off of the app. And the analytics that were coming back, I started with like 5 monthly listeners on like Spotify, and then after that month and a half period, it went up to like 150, which may not sound like a lot, but that was off pure just posting every day, engaging with people, and then them taking their time out of their scroll their day to go find and connect with my music. And a lot of that came through from quality. They were leaving comments basically uh indirectly letting me know that it was the quality. Obviously, these are everyday people, so they wasn't going like, "Hey, man, that bass is really knocking at that.
Right.
High end's really popping out." No, it was more so like, "Man, voice sounds really good. Like, wow, this actually sounds like amazing." Blah 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 blah. And so, just the quality of the music alone, because I haven't employed a lot of marketing and stuff yet. Just that little stuff that I have done seems to be a big piece in what I got going on right now.
The flip side of that question, what is one thing you're currently doing that's not working or is costing you more time, energy, or freedom than it's giving back?
That's a great question.
Because we all got for me, it might be trying to go between teetering the fence between what's real social media business time and what's social media entertainment time. And it's like
Mm.
it's so many times where I find myself leaning more into the entertainment of it. And I'm like, there's no purpose. Why am I here? And my time says 10 hours today. How?
I don't know if this answers your question, but for me, it's the inconsistency mixed with the scared of vulnerability.
Mm,
I don't want to post, not for the sake of post. I mean, one, I'm not a big fan of social media because a lot of people are just dumb. I just can't do social media. Um, it I normally don't get irritated quickly, but when I find like there's no logic in something, it sends me through a roof. But
hmm
besides the point, I have a lot of stories, a lot of interesting stories. I'm scared to tell them because part of my story is I've never fit in. I've always stuck out somehow, some way. And while it has came with a lot of compliments and praises throughout my life, it never, that's what it was to like the people saying it. It never got registered to me that way. And in fact, a lot of compliments for a good chunk of time made me uncomfortable. Like it actually had the opposite effect. And so it basically translated to, if I put myself out there uh and actually like show people what's going on inside of my mind, or why I am the way that I am, or where I come from and all that good stuff, it's just like, nah, somebody's gonna pick it apart. So it's just, to me, I just get into this whole head game, even though there's not really a whole lot of like actual. Dog, this doesn't even make sense. Like when I talk about it out loud, I can register like, bro, just just do it. But in my head though, it's
Mhm.
just like, man, they're gonna turn this, flip this, twist this. They're gonna pick this apart, do this, that, and the third. Because I've seen it. People ain't got, they literally have no life. They have no life to the point where like I'm just gonna go destroy this other person's life. People wake up and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna be evil today.
I'm in that kind of mood today. You're right. There's a lot of people that use this as a way to get off, whatever excess negativity has been presented to their life. This is the place where they can dump it off on people like I seen one today that was so ridiculous about I posted something about my mom, and the dude said something, and I was like, I can't even get mad or want to make an example. I'm like, where do you have to be in life to get to this point?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a great
Not
answer.
about OG though.
Huh?
So not about OG though.
You said a lot about OG.
Oh, that's it. Not about OG, like your mom. Like not about mom.
Oh, you said not about OG. I thought you said it was a whole lot of OG. I was like, what OG what? I was like, OG
Oh no.
I got a lot. So here's one of the last questions I have for you. This is more so getting into an imaginary circumstance or scenario. Imagine you wake up tomorrow, Don Law, and everything related to your independent work is gone. No catalog, no audience, no brand relationships, no momentum. You still have your experience, your skills, your work ethic, a laptop, a phone, internet access, and a small budget. If you had to rebuild from absolute zero as an independent artist or DIYer, what would you do first and why?
It's a great question. Funnily enough, this hypothetical scenario is very close to my story for this year specifically. And I would, one, have some proof of concept. I would try to get a song created somehow, some way. I know that's easier said than done, but that would be the first thing to do. It's like, okay, well, I can't get people to fall in love with me if I don't have nothing to show for it. So there. And then instantly I'd start documenting just my process and then like what I'm trying to do, especially in today's age. Like polished products. I mean, we've seen it 1,000 times essentially at this story. Like we've even to the point where like we even have industry plans. People want authenticity and a journey to follow. So I literally would just every day just be like, all right, this is me working on this. This is me working on this. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm trying to do. Because like I said earlier, I'm somebody who I don't like to post my story. I'm not the only person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, there's 8.3 billion other people that possibly feel like I feel. And the person who does that, people are going to rally behind it because people love to follow something that they wish they were a part of or wish that they were doing. And so like the quicker you get more comfortable with being uncomfortable and just like throw any part of the journey out there to be seen, people can gravitate to it.
Yeah. Last question I got for you, and you only got 10 seconds to answer this one, sir. So I'm putting the pressure on you.
All right.
Elevator. You're in an elevator with one of your biggest influences, and you have the opportunity to put one song on their radar. They're going to listen to you. You got one song, a business card song. What is that for Don Law right now that is out?
Allen Road or Love Lane.
Okay. And why that one?
Allen Road, it just seems to resonate with people a lot. I don't know why. I'm not going to question it. It just does. So that's the one I'm playing. Love Lane seems to be another one. But that one, I would go Allen Road first. Love Lane is it's one of my own personal favorites because I haven't made anything like that before, and it was pure. I mean, that was just pure heartbreak. Like it was pure emotion, just like in song. So one of those two, definitely Allen Road first, but maybe that one if I.
Perfect, man. I appreciate you taking the time to share your story. This has been DIYers live from the underground with the first first ever. There's only going to be one first. Critique My Beats tournament winner, Don Law. If this conversation resonated with you, DIYers, make sure you stay tapped in. Subscribe. Of course, subscribe to the other channel, which is the DIYer Music Network. We have other interviews on there. In case you haven't been tapped in, stay curious. Subscribe. Leave a comment. Go follow this man on his socials because I think he's setting himself up for a huge 2026. Thank you again, Don Law, for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And of course, DIYers, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
DIY.
Tear in your eye. Don't